Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Vidya for Success. In this video, let us continue a few more concepts on the topic basis of classification. Yes, till now we have studied two bases of classification. One is levels of organization and another one is symmetry. So now we are moving with a few more bases of classification. Among that, one is diploblastic and triploblastic organization. What is mean by this organization? How it has done? So this organization is done based on the number of tissue layer present in the embryo. So embryo, we know it is the initial developmental stage of all the animals. So in the embryonic condition, so some of the animals consist of two tissue layer and some of the animals embryo consist of three different tissue layers. Understood? So those tissue layers in the embryo is also called as germinal layer. So based on the number of germinal layer, this organization is classified. Clear? That means diploblastic and triploblastic organization is done based on the number of germinal layer in the embryo. So let us understand one by one. So what do you mean by diploblastic organization? Di means two. So diploblastic organization can be seen in some of the animals embryo. So in this kind of organization, embryo consists of two embryonic layers, that means two germinal layers will be present. So one of the germinal layer is outer ectoderma. Clear? Ecto means outer, derma means skin. So outer layer present in the embryo is named as ectoderma, and the inner endoderma is also present here. So there are two germinal layer we can notice in the embryo of some of the animal. Outer ectoderma and inner endoderma. So the meaning of endoderma is inner skin, inner tissue layer. So when the embryo consists of these two germinal layer, such a kind of organization in the embryo is called as diploblastic organization. So you can clearly identify those two layers in this diagram. So this is the diagram showing diploblastic organization in animal. So you can notice the labeled this thing parts here. So outer few mass of cells are named as ectoderma, that is the outer germinal layer. Outer germinal layer is named as ectoderma and inner germinal layer is named as endoderma. So in between the ectoderma and endoderma, there is a undifferentiated layer is present. You could not identify the cells here, just it is a undifferentiated layer. So that layer is called as mesoglia. Understood? So this kind of embryonic germinal layer in the embryo is considered to be a diploblastic organization. So in which animal we can see the diploblastic organization? So best example is coelentrates. So in the coelentrates, the developing embryo consists of only two germinal layer, so that the organization here is diploblastic organization. Yes, the second one is triploblastic organization. So triplo, that means tri is nothing but how much? 3. So three layers, three germinal layers we can see in the developing embryo. So let us see the definition. So animals with three embryonic layers is considered to be a triploblastic animal, and that kind of organization is called as triploblastic organization. So what are those three embryonic layers then? So the outer ectoderma and inner endoderma, and in between the ectoderma and endoderma there is a mesoderm layer will be present. So you can notice in the diagram, so the pink color tissue, what we can see in the diagram, that is actually mesoderm layer. Clear, right? So in the diploblastic we have seen the presence of only ectoderm and endoderm. There is no middle mesoderma there. But here in the triploblastic organization, in between ectoderm and endoderm, there is a mesoderm layer is present. So if the embryo is like this, if the organization is in the embryo is like this kind of organization is named as triploblastic organization. That means 3 germinal layers are present here. So which animals are showing this kind of organization? So best example is Platyhelminthes to Tilchordates. So from Platyhelminthes phylum to Tilchordates, all animals are comes under triploblastic animal. That means the kind of organization in the embryo is triploblastic organization. Clear. So this is one basis considered for the classification of animals into different category, because developing embryo is one of the important stage to be considered for the classification. So the study of different animals in the animal kingdom shows these two kinds of embryonic condition. So one is a diploblastic organization and another one is triploblastic organization. So primitive animals, they are showing diploblastic organization, and little advanced organisms and this thing developed animals are also showing triploblastic organization. Yes, now we have one more basis of classification, that is coelom. So coelom is one criteria considered among the animals for classification. So what do you mean by the coelom? So coelom is nothing but a cavity region present in the animal. So where this cavity is present? So in some of the animals, this cavity, body cavity is present between the body wall and gut wall. So body wall is nothing but the outermost layer of the animal, and gut wall is nothing but the wall of the digestive system. So between the outer body wall and the gut wall, there is a space, cavity region is present in some of the animals. So that is considered to be a criteria for classification. So based on the presence or absence of the cavity between the gut wall and body wall, animals are classified into number of different types. Understood, right? I'll repeat once again. So coelom is nothing but the cavity, body cavity. That cavity is present between the body wall and gut wall. So here this criteria is considered for the classification. So based on the presence or absence of coelom, that means the body cavity, animals are divided into number of different types. Andre cavity idya athwa cavity ilva adana consideration maadi en ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, they are classifying animals into number of different types. So let us have a look into the definition of coelom. So the presence or absence of cavity between the body wall and gut wall is important for classification. That means that cavity is here considered for the classification of animal. So this cavity is lined by mesoderma on both the sides. That means the outside of the cavity as well as the inner side of the cavity is lined by mesoderma layer. So when it is lined by the mesoderma, that cavity is named as what? Coelom. So that you will come to know when you look into the diagram. So based on this, the organisms are classified into 3 different types. So one of the type of animal is coelomates. This is one type of animals. And another type of animal is acoelomates, and one more type is pseudocoelomates. So there are 3 different types are there in the animals based on the presence or absence of coelom. So one of the organism named as coelomates, and some are named as acoelomates, and some are named as pseudocoelomates. So this is mainly based on the presence or absence of cavity between the body wall and gut wall. So yes, the first type of organism is coelomates. So coelomates are the animal, they consist of true body cavity. That means the animal possessing body cavity here. So let us have a look into the definition. So animal possessing coelom are called coelomates. So coelomates are the group of animals, they consist of true coelom in their body. That means between the body wall and gut wall, the cavity region will be present, and that cavity is lined by mesoderma. Understood. So the example of animal showing this kind of coelom is annelids to till chordates. So from the phylum annelids to till chordates, all animals are showing the presence of true coelom in their body. So that those animals are called as coelomates. So you can take the example of earthworm, and human being also you can take as an example, because we are also belong to coelomates category. So let us have a look into this diagram. Here you can clearly notice, you can understand where the animal actually consists coelom, body cavity. So the green outer layer you see, so that green outer layer is the ectoderm, or you could also consider it as a body wall. And the inner layer, the small green layer you can notice in the diagram, so that layer is known as gut wall. That means the wall of digestive system. Clear. So between the body wall and gut wall, you can see the presence of cavity. That means the empty space is present here. Clear. So that empty space is lined by mesoderm on either side. So on outside also you can see the blue layer, and from inside also you can see the blue layer. So those two blue layers are nothing but mesoderm. So mesoderm is actually lining the cavity region here. So if the animal consists of this kind of cavity, that animal is considered to be a coelomate. That means the animal consists of true cavity here, true body cavity is present. Understood, right? So coelomates are the animals, they possessing coelom in their body. That means the cavity here lined by mesoderm on either side. And the second type of animal based on the cavity is acoelomates. So A means what? Absent. So animal which does not consist of coelom in their body, they are named as acoelomates. So the animals in which the body cavity is absent are called acoelomates. So A, as I said before, when we are using actually A behind the word, that indicates absence of that particular part. So here we are going to express the presence or absence of coelom in the organism. So when we use A behind that word, that means that that particular part is absent in the animal. So acoelom is nothing but absence of coelom. So you can notice in the diagram here. So the outer green layer is nothing but the ectoderm, few layer of tissue. Then inner again you can notice the presence of a green color layer, small this thing, small tissue layer, that is the gut wall. And in between the body wall and gut wall, there is no cavity here. You just compare this diagram with the first diagram. There we have the body cavity, but here in the acoelomates there is no body cavity between the body wall and gut wall. So if the animal does not consist of body cavity between the body wall and gut wall, that kind of organism, animal, is named as acoelomates. So the best example is Platyhelminthes. Clear. So planaria, we have already seen the example of Platyhelminthes in our previous videos. So Platyhelminthes is the best example of animal that is not showing the presence of coelom in its body. Clear. Then the third type is pseudocoelomates. So pseudo is nothing but what? False. So you might have heard this word, right? So whenever you come across with the characteristic feature of amoeba, we used to express its locomotory organ as pseudopodia. Pseudo is nothing but false. Clear. So here the coelom is a false type of coelom, pseudocoelom. Clear. So if the animal possesses pseudocoelom, they are named as pseudocoelomates. So body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. So animal here consisting of body cavity, but that body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as scattered pouches in between ectoderm and endoderm. So you can notice in the diagram. So the outer layer of tissue, what I said as a ectoderm, and inner layer of tissue you can notice here, that is the endoderm, or you could also consider it as a gut wall. So in between the ectoderm and endoderm, the mesoderm is scattered in the form of pouches. That means there are different pouches are there. Those pouches are formed by mesoderm layer. Understood, right? So this kind of coelom in the animal is considered to be a pseudocoelom. That means it gives the appearance like the presence of coelom, but it is not actually a true coelom. So because of this, this cavity is named as pseudo cavity or pseudocoelom. So animal consisting of this kind of coelom are called as pseudocoelomates. Clear, right? So you could make out the difference between pseudocoelom and true coelom here. So true coelom is always lined by mesoderm layer on either side. But here there is no lining of mesoderm on either side. Instead of that, the mesoderm is present in the form of scattered pouches in the cavity region. So that it is called as pseudocoelom. The animals showing this kind of coelom are named as what? Yes, pseudocoelomates. So the best example of animal showing pseudocoelom is Aschelmanthus. So Aschelmanthus is the only phylum where we can see the animals showing pseudocoelom in their body. Clear? This is very important because no other phylum are showing pseudocoelom in their body. Only Aschelmanthus phylum where we can see the pseudocoelom. Yes, now we have one more basis of classification in the animal. So that is nothing but segmentation. So segmentation is considered to be one character for the classification of animals. So what do you mean by the segmentation? So we know the meaning of segment, right? Segment is nothing but pieces. So if you see the body of some of the animals, their body appears like it is made out of number of pieces. That means repeated same units will be present in the animal. So if the animal body is made out of repeated number of units, that kind of organism is called as segmented animal. Clear? And that phenomenon is called as segmentation, just like a train. So in the train we can see the number of compartment. So each compartment is joined with the one another. So like that, the repeated units can be noticeable here in the animal. So if the animal body is like that, that phenomenon is called as segmentation. Clear? So here the body is divided into segments both externally and internally. So not only we can notice that separation of unit from the outside, so internally also that separation can be seen clearly here. So this repeated unit is present in the organism. So in each of the unit we can notice some of the organs are repeatedly present. So some essential organs are repeatedly present in each of the segment in the animal. So we can take the best example of earthworm for this phenomenon, because the body of earthworm is made out of number of segments, number of units are present. So each segment consists of at least some repeated organs. So what are the organs are very essential for the survival of animal? Those organs are repeatedly present in each of the segment, and this phenomenon is called as metamerism. So metamers are nothing but segments. Segments are scientifically named as metamers. So that phenomenon is called as metamerism. So this is very important thing. Clear? So you have to remember two terminologies here. One is metamer, another one is metamerism. So metamer is nothing but segments. So scientific name of the segment, and the phenomenon in the animal is called as metamerism, because number of metameres are going to form the body of an animal here, and that phenomenon is called as metamerism. So you can notice here, this is the earthworm. So there are many segments are present in the body. So each of the segment we are calling as metamere, and that phenomenon is called as metamerism. So this is one basis of classification of animal. Then one more basis of classification is notochord. So notochord, presence or absence of notochord is considered to be a criteria for classification. That means it is also a basis of classification in the animals. What do you mean by notochord? So notochord is a rod-like structure. So this structure is actually formed from mesoderm. So we have seen the number of tissue layer in the embryonic condition. So the middle mesoderm present in the embryo in some of the organism, that will be differentiated into rod-like structure in the future. So that rod-like structure is named as notochord. So this notochord is always located on the dorsal side during the embryonic development. Clear? So that rod-like structure is the notochord. So presence or absence of notochord is considered for the classification of animal here. So based on this structure, animals are divided into two types. So one of the type is chordates and another type is non-chordates. So which animal they possesses notochord in their body, they are called as chordates. So we are chordates, that means human beings are chordate, then fishes are chordates, then reptiles are chordate. So all these are the chordates because their body consists of dorsal rod-like structure, that rod-like structure named as notochord. And there are some groups of animals are there in the animal kingdom, their body does not consist of notochord. So when the notochord is absent in the body, such animals are named as non-chordates. Clear? So earthworms are non-chordates, then echinodermates are non-chordates, arthropods are non-chordates. So like this, absence of notochord indicate that the animal is non-chordate. Clear? So this is also one more basis of classification in the animal kingdom. Understood? Clear, right? So you can see the diagram here. So this is the animal example for non-chordate because there the animal does not consist of notochord. Clear? So till now we have completed all the basis of classification. So we have started from the levels of organization here. So one is levels of organization, then another one is symmetry, then next to that we have studied triploblastic and diploblastic organization, and then we have studied about coelom, then segmentation, and here we have the last one, that is notochord. So these are the 6 different bases considered for the classification of animal into number of different phylum.